phrase coined by the great mid-century American physicist John Archibald Wheeler. If these insights come as a surprise, it's no wonder, because physics, as practiced by everyday working physicists, ignored what Planck, Wheeler, and a host of other illustrious names were claiming. We wound up in the arms of a paradox. Every physicist accepts that quantum mechanics is the most successful scientific theory of all time, and quantum theory effectively demolished the common sense notion that solid physical objects exist as tangible things. Their thingness vanishes once you enter the quantum domain, where all of reality can be reduced to ripples in the quantum field. These excitations in the gravity field, the electron field, and the quark field are more real than matter, which is just one mode of quantum excitations. The paradox arises from the same physicists who refuse to believe that consciousness interacts with the quantum field, shaping and governing its excitations. Yet the very theorists who discovered the quantum field held that consciousness must be a part of it, not only to account for a participatory universe, but to correct a huge mistake. That huge mistake is the belief that subjectivity can be excluded from the work of science. Leaving out half of existence, the mental half, seems absurd at first glance. After all, the work of science begins in here, with mental activity being generated and perceived by a human being. What could be more subjective? Ervin Laszlo plunges us into this paradox, with the aim of correcting the gaping mistake in the scientific model. He argues that reality must be viewed as a whole, and a growing number of physicists, particularly among the younger generation, agree. There are not two regions of existence, mental and physical, separated by nature. Instead, the division of mind in here and matter out there is a human construct. It can be shown, as this book does very convincingly, that wholeness dominates nature, including human nature. There is only one reality, and the task of science is to describe how it works. Yet, at another level, every scientific theory, including the one Laszlo proposes, must pass the so what test. It must be relevant to everyday life. The part of quantum theory that led to the transistor's so what test passes, as does the general theory of relativity, because it is needed to accurately calibrate the satellites that send GPS signals back to Earth. But other aspects of quantum mechanics and general relativity do not pass the test, remaining in the obscure realm of mathematics that is the language of advanced physics. No less a figure than Stephen Hawking came to the conclusion, near the end of his life, that theories in physics may no longer match reality, having journeyed into a realm of abstraction that will never be validated by physical evidence. The prospect of a universe alienated from human experience disturbed Hawking, and it disturbs Laszlo even more. The radical claims of Planck on behalf of consciousness would make the universe more human, as would Wheeler's notion of a participatory universe. The opposite is true of models that depend entirely on advanced mathematics, which would totally divorce human experience from physics, except for the rational mind that can comprehend advanced mathematics. In Laszlo's view, the only way to heal this rupture is to change our paradigm of reality, accepting that wholeness is the starting point for reality. I won't preempt his arguments for this paradigm shift, as it has come to be called for the last 40 years or so, but I am reminded of the famous English novelist E.M. Forster, who coined a phrase in his novel Howard's End, only connect the prose and the passion, and both will be exalted, and human love will be seen at its height. For Forster, who lived through both cataclysmic world wars, only connect was the only possible remedy for the trauma created not just by war, but by the absence of love and the rise of machines in modern culture. Laszlo holds the same concern and sees the same remedy. He might reword only connect to only reconnect, which acknowledges that a small band of sages, seers, teachers and philosophers, Eastern and Western, already understood.